Hello everyone and welcome to County Perspective. This show focuses on Frederick County government, local programs and events, and the Frederick County community. I'm your host Brandon Rosa and thank you for joining us. Now let's start the show with some recent news. Let's talk about Frederick County government's recent bond rating and why it is so important. Frederick County has received AAA bond ratings from all three major bond rating agencies, according to an announcement made by County Executive Jessica Fitzwater. The ratings are the highest possible and are based on the county's very strong fiscal governance, with Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's all reaffirming the county's status. Only 52 counties in the U.S. have achieved this ranking from all three agencies. The top ratings allow Frederick County to secure lower interest rates on its construction projects. Analysts also noted the county's low debt and exceptional risk mitigation efforts. Executive Fitzwater praised the county's employees for managing taxpayer dollars well. Frederick County Executive Jessica Fitzwater has announced a new countywide project aimed at raising awareness about the signs of stroke and the appropriate action to take. The initiative follows Frederick County's designation as a Stroke Smart County in October of 2021. The project includes the launch of the website frederickcountymd.gov/stroke, which provides information about the signs of stroke and the actions to take, along with videos and quizzes.
Together, I know that we can make a difference, and all we have to do is be fast at becoming stroke smart, be fast at knowing the signs of stroke, and be fast at calling 911.
The project aims to improve the health of the county by addressing a leading cause of death and disability. The ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Frederick County Board of Elections office took place on May 3rd, with Frederick County Executive Jessica Fitzwater, Mayor Michael O'Connor, and state delegates in attendance. The new office, located at 8490 Progress Drive, Riverside Corporate Park, is intended to cater towards individuals seeking in-person services like voter registration and party change.
Our registered voters have increased to over 200,000 registered voters in Frederick County right now, and we are constantly growing, and Frederick County is constantly growing. So this office provides more space for the equipment that we need and the people that we need to operate that equipment and to do the work of elections.
The larger training facility can accommodate around 800 to 1,000 election judges. To contact Frederick County Board of Elections or set an appointment, call 301-600-VOTE or email electionboard@frederickcountymd.gov. This time of year, when you tune into FCG-TV, chances are you will hear discussions about Frederick County's budget. The conversations can be difficult to understand. For instance, do you know the difference between operating budget and the capital budget? Do you know why 10 fund is called a 10 fund? We asked the budget office for some help understanding the lingo. Let's take a look at what they told us.
Do you often watch budget meetings or read through the budget book and wonder, what are they talking about? We are here to help explain a few words that are frequently used when talking about the county budget. First up is fiscal year. A fiscal year is a 12-month period of time to which the annual operating and capital budgets apply. Frederick County's fiscal year begins July 1st and ends the following June 30th. For example, fiscal year 2024 is from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. As a note, in budget documents, the fiscal year is often shown with a capital FY followed by the year. So I just mentioned operating budget and capital budget. The operating budget is an annual budget that supports the daily operations of county divisions and agencies. The capital budget provides funding for capital projects during the next fiscal year and is the same as the first year in the Capital Improvement Program, also known as the CIP. General Fund. This is the primary fund which supports most government functions in Frederick County, like parks, snow removal, and ambulance and fire response. We often call it the 10 Fund. Why is it called the 10 Fund? Because just like your checking account, each fund is given a unique number. And now I probably know what you're thinking. What is a fund? A fund is a grouping of revenues and expenses that are used to fulfill specific purposes. Frederick County has a lot of funds, and they can be hard to keep track of. Another word you may hear is appropriation. This is just another word for budgeted expenses. So if you hear the words appropriation, expenses, or expenditures, they all mean the same thing. Appropriations are important because this is what allows each division to carry out their purpose and services to the public. Which leads us to the next word, division. A division is the top-level organizational unit in Frederick County government. Each division is overseen by a division director and is responsible for carrying out the mission and goals of the county through its core responsibilities. Departments, offices, and other named organizational units report up to a division. There are also a few divisional units, which represent a grouping of like departments, offices, or agencies that otherwise work independently of each other. We often use the word FTE. This is short for full-time equivalent. An FTE is a decimal representation of a position based on a full work week. For most, this is 40 hours. For example, an employee working 20 hours per week would be equal to a 0.5 of a full-time position, or an FTE, and a person working 40 hours a week would be equal to a 1 full-time position, or FTE. Maintenance of effort. Maintenance of effort is a word used in state law that requires that county governments demonstrate that local funding for school students through the Board of Education remains relatively constant from year to year. Although it is a complex formula, it basically calculates an amount per student and applies that to the new student count. Therefore, depending on student enrollment, this amount can increase or decrease each year. Last but not least is fund balance. In the financial sense, it is the remaining amount of annual revenues recorded in excess of expenses. But what does it have to do with the budget? If you think of fund balance like your checking account balance, it is there to use or to add to. Budget uses the term budgeted fund balance, and this is shown in the budget, usually with revenue accounts. A negative amount represents adding to the checking account balance, and a positive amount represents using the balance to pay for yearly expenses. There are laws that restrict the use or non-use of fund balance and differ depending on the specific fund. So we have only covered some basic words used throughout the budget planning season and budget documents. To review these words and other ones, please refer to the glossary section of our budget book, which can be found on the Budget Office website. Thanks for joining us to learn more about the county budget. If you have any budget lingo you don't understand, email us at budgetoffice@frederickcountymd.gov and type budget lingo in the subject line.
Don't change the channel, because when we come back, we'll find out who this episode's pet of the week is, the newest episode of Farming Frederick, and more. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to County Perspective. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa. Most of the pet of the week animals have been adorable cats and dogs, but this episode is about a sweet-hearted bunny named Parks. Let's head on over to the animal shelter to find out more.
Parks is one of several bunnies currently available for adoption at FCAC. This bunny earned his name when he was rescued by 2 ACOs at a county park. Parks is a playful and confident juvenile rabbit with interesting markings and a great personality. He's looking for a forever family that can provide him with all of his favorite things: veggies, space to play, and of course love. All of FCAC's bunnies are spayed or neutered and are adopted for a fee of $50. To learn more about Parks and our adoption process, call Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center at 301-600-1546.
FCG-TV recently visited Needwood Farms to hang out with 100 Angus cows to learn what their day-to-day life is typically like. Check out this latest episode of Farming Frederick.
I'm Yvette Castillo, and I've never been on a farm before. I'm visiting farms across Frederick County, Maryland to learn about local farming. You're watching Farming Frederick. Frederick County has over 1,373 farms, and 457 of those farms run beef cattle operations, with 179 of them selling directly to consumers. You might be thinking, how many beef cows are in Frederick County? Well, around 8,324 beef cows. In this episode of Farming Frederick, we are heading to Needwood Farms, one of Frederick County's century farms, to see what the day in the life is like of an Angus cow. I'm standing on 350 acres of land here at Needwood Farms in Burkittsville. I'm about to find owners Tim and Richard Pry in one of the barns behind me. Come on, let's go. Hi, Richard and Tim. So how many cows do you typically have here at Needwood Farms on a year-round basis?
We like to keep between 65 and 70 brood cows. These are the mothers of all the cattle that we have. They will range in age. The mothers will range in age from 2-year-old first calf heifers to the oldest would be probably 9, maybe 10 years old. Their calves, once they come off the mother in the summertime and are weaned in the fall at about 7 months of age, they are put in the feedlot on the other farm to be finished out for beef.
Okay. So you have a lot of land here and a lot of cows. Where do they sleep? Where do the cows sleep?
Most anywhere they want to. Now, typically, they have no sleep hours, so it's not a 9 to 5. If they want to take a nap, they take a nap. They sleep inside the barn or out in the field. Beef cattle prefer to be cool weather. In the summertime, when the sun is boiling down in the afternoon, I can guarantee you the cattle will be in the barn because it's cooler in here and they're out of the direct sun.
Okay, so is it true that cows sleep standing up?
Yeah, they can do that. they can sleep standing up.
So every time I drive by a farm, I see cows just munching, they're grazing. What are they eating and how often do they eat?
Okay, if they're out in a field, they're grazing on whatever grasses have been planted for them. Pasture grasses, clovers and different things, and they're grazing on that. If they're in a barn, for instance, behind us here in the round bale feeders, we're feeding them hay that we made last summer, and that is part of their winter feed. We also have corn silage, which is the whole stalk of corn chopped up fine from the stalk, the leaves, the ear, the tassel, all of it, ground up. And we have a wagon that will come by and feed them, and they'll eat corn silage. Now this group only gets a small amount of corn silage. When we're fattening them up, they get more corn silage, and that's on the other farm.
Okay, so that's mostly like a vegetarian type.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
wow.
Absolutely. And our cattle eat everything that we raise here on the farm. Okay. Corn, barley, hay.
So what is the benefit of a free roaming cows versus cows that are more enclosed in a more enclosed environment?
Well, I can't speak to the ones that are the large feedlots, but I know that our cows can come and go as they please. They spend the summers with their calves, their offspring. It makes for a healthier cow. They can go out and exercise. They can come in here to eat or sleep, or they basically have a lot of choices. And we handle them a few times a year, herd check and things of that nature with a veterinarian. But outside of that, we're with them every day because we're feeding them. And looking them over and taking care of the calves and doing those type of things, just watching out. They pretty much have a good life here. They really do.
So thanks for having me on your farm today. I really appreciate all the information.
You're very welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
They're all running away. So that was fun, and those cows are super cute. You never know what topic we're going to cover on Farming Frederick, so be sure to tune in to the next episode. If you would like to know more about Needwood Farm or any other farm in Frederick County, visit homegrownfrederick.com.
It is time in the show to find out what activities county divisions and departments are hosting in the next few weeks in this episode's calendar of events. If you'd like to find out more about events, programs, and activities that are going on in the county, visit frederickcountymd.gov. It is almost the end of this episode, but before we go, I want to mention some upcoming important news. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The observance was established in 1949 to increase awareness of the importance of mental health and wellness in Americans' lives. It is also a time to celebrate individuals who have emerged from a mental illness. If you or a family member or friend is struggling with mental illness, call the 211 hotline run by the Frederick County Mental Health Association. You can also access resources from the Frederick County Health Department at health.frederickcountymd.gov. Frederick County Parks and Recreation has many activities available to help fight stress and mental illnesses like yoga and Zumba. To find out more about activities like these, visit Parks and Recreation's website at recreator.com. The annual Bike to Work Day is just around the corner. On Friday, May 19th, do your part to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by leaving your car parked and jump on your bike to get to work. Meet other riders at your local pit stops like the downtown Frederick Transit Station that will be holding refreshments and prize raffles from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Riders in the Brunswick area can find a pit stop at the Brunswick Mark Station from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you're looking to take transit, shuttle buses can fit up to 2 bicycles on the front rack. To register to win prizes and to find more pit stops available in the DMV area, just visit biketoworkmetrodc.org. Well everyone, that wraps up this episode of County Perspective. If you want to stay up to date on important news and events going on in the county, follow Frederick County on social media. We'll see you next time with a fresh look from a county perspective. Take care, everybody.